Good evening, everyone. Thanks everyone so much for joining us again for Band Together. We are extremely fortunate tonight to have a show curated by our friends at Harlow's, a venue where I've honestly considered having my mail forwarded to. I've been to so many shows there. In a few minutes, we're going to hear from Daniel Romandia, who's head of shows at Harlow's. And before we bring him in, I do want to tell everyone out there about a special running today on the site Bandcamp, bandcamp.com. All the artists we're going to hear from tonight, Night Hikes, Sad Girls Club, and in a few moments, we'll be chatting with Tycho. All of our artists tonight have pages on Bandcamp and have their music available there. Today and today only, May 1st, Bandcamp is waiving their share of revenues for all sales, and all their revenues are going directly to the artists whose music you purchase. So any of our artists tonight, any of your favorite locals, non-locals, whoever it is, if you're going to buy music today, May 1st is the day to do it on Bandcamp. That goes till midnight. So head on over there to pick up music from tonight's artist. And with that, let's bring in Daniel Romandia. He's got some exciting stuff to tell us about what Harlow's is up to. Daniel, thanks for being here, man.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So Harlow's Head Start. Tell us a little bit about what this is about. This just came out today, right?
Yeah. It's a very first day launching this thing. So what it is, it's essentially these tiered packages that people can purchase. So you got 4 different levels. And what they are is basically a head start on our calendar. As no one's surprised by this, we're not doing shows right now. But people have asked how they could support us in certain ways. And we've started a little smaller. We have gift cards at a slightly discounted rate on our website right now. And we have a GoFundMe set up that goes directly to our night crews or bartenders, servers, security guards, all that, because they're just not getting any hours. But we were realizing that there doesn't seem to be any like set date for us to when we're actually gonna be able to come back. We're pretty confident in the fact that we will, but until then, we've been trying to figure out ways to, increase our revenue and whatnot. So what the Head Start is say someone wants to buy just tickets to a show but doesn't actually know what the shows are just yet. So they buy our smallest package, the gold package. What that is, $120. It gets you 1 guest list spot to 1 show a month for 6 consecutive months. It gets you a show poster to every show that you attend during those months. A special limited edition lanyard that gets sent out to everyone that buys one of the packages. And then also you get one of our brand new koozies that we decided to put into our new merch store today as well. And then there's 3 other packages, and each of them have their own little special things they come with. And we feel that is one of the best ways right now that anyone could help support us to keep Harlow's around. We've been around since 1982, and we don't plan on going anywhere anytime soon. So if anyone does want to support an independent music venue, specifically us, this would definitely be the best way to do
it. Beautiful. Well, wait, thank you so much for giving us all the information about this and for coming on. And everything's available for Harlow's and Starlit Room at harlows.com, correct?
Yep, that's it.
Excellent. Thanks so much, Daniel. We appreciate you being here, and we'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, thank you. And I also want to say thank you to every single one of the artists going to be performing tonight. We really appreciate it. We can't describe enough how much we love all of you, and just thank you for doing it, and thank you to the Bee for having us.
Thanks, man. We sure appreciate you guys putting together the lineup for us. This is going to be a great show, so we appreciate it. Thank you, man. Well, it's a pretty small list of artists that we could mention that have played at both Harlow's and Golden One Center in the last decade, but one of those artists does happen to be Tycho. And Tycho, we're very happy to have you joining us tonight and bring you in. Thanks so much for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. So I found a blog post from you from the SAC Electronic Music Festival about 10 years ago mentioning Harlow's is your favorite venue in town. Is that still a warm spot in your heart?
Of course, yeah, and I've seen so many cool shows there, and even the shows that we played there, they're some of the most memorable shows for me, definitely.
Yeah. When's the last time you played there? It's probably been a few years now.
Yeah, it's been a while. The last time we played, we did Beach Street Theater, the Sophia. So it was the show before that. But yeah, like I used to live like 3 blocks from there, so I was down there like every other day. It seemed like.
Mm-hmm. Things are a little boarded up right now. It's a little creepy, but someday soon.
Really? I haven't been to Sacramento during the lockdown, so yeah, it's I'm imagining it's the same in San Francisco. Everything on like Valencia and all that stuff, all the venues are all boarded up. It's sad.
Yeah, it's definitely eerie. Tell us about some of the other spots in town you used to play. I know a lot of them probably are very near and dear to your heart that aren't even there anymore.
Yeah, well, the first place I played was Maryland's, on the K Street, the first K Street Maryland's, before they redid it across the street. It was on the corner. That was the first show I ever played at all. And then I played, I think the next one was Espresso Metro, because like I was going to a bunch of Dusty Brown shows. He's who got me into playing live shows, and then we like kind of we got together, and once I met him and we came up with this idea of playing these, kind of having this collective, and it was called Command Collective. It was Chachi Jones, Dusty Brown, myself, Park Avenue, Fruit Bat, and Faster Faster, and we would play at Espresso Metro. It was on K Street. It was like this coffee shop. They would let us play there. It was Jay Howell ran it. So that was like kind of my favorite spot to play, because it was this coffee house vibe. It didn't feel so much like a venue. But then that was also because we couldn't get shows at normal venues. And then finally Old Ironsides let us play. And that was like the big moment. It's like, oh, we get to play Old I, because, you know, we'd seen so many classic shows there. So yeah, that was all. And then, you know, we played Townhouse and a bunch of other places after that. But yeah, like really fond memories of those places.
Mm-hmm. Townhouse, now known as Holy Diver, and they'll be hopefully doing a show for us at some point as well.
Right, I saw that. A couple months ago, I saw that place that they'd redone it. It looks cool.
Yeah, the skull murals out front are extremely cool. They did a great job.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah. How, if at all, how have you been able to? I know you live in San Francisco now, have for quite a few years. How are you able to stay connected to Sacramento? I know it's hard living in one place when you're from another, but do you still feel that connection to our local scene?
Yeah, well, you know, I wouldn't say the scene, because I just don't get out enough in general. Like, I don't even go to shows here, just because it's like, I don't know, you're playing so much music, you're listening to music all day, and it's like I just don't find myself like seeking that out as much as I used to. I really should get back into it. But you know, Zach, who's in Tycho, Zach Brown, he lives right there in Midtown still, and Dusty Brown, his cousin, good friend of mine, and my whole family still lives out there. So I definitely get out there, but I don't find myself. Maybe I just don't know what's going on these days, or places to go, but I definitely don't find myself getting into like, you know, indie scenes and stuff like I used to, like finding the underground electronic shows.
Mm-hmm. Do you ever have designs on coming back to Sacramento, either permanently, more often, anything like that?
I'd love to, but yeah, you know, it's like, yeah, I got a lot of stuff, you know, kind of holding me here now. I've been here for 15 years, so it's kind of, this is definitely home now, but I would love to at some point get back out to Sacramento. It's just a much more, I don't know, it's my home. It's where I grew up. It's where I spent most of my life. So it's a place that I'd definitely like to end up again at some point in my life.
Yeah. So many of your songs, when you listen to them, seem to have this inspiration based on places, based on moods. Are there any sort of places in Sacramento or around Sacramento that served as inspiration for your music over the years and maybe even still do?
Yeah, the river. I grew up in Fair Oaks, up, you know, it's up a little ways from the city, and you know, we were right there on the river, and I spent my youth just like, you know, following creeks and out in the woods, because there's a much more rural area at the time, and those are my best memories. And I think like everything I'm trying to do visually and musically is definitely like referencing that experience and that space, kind of like the foothills and just the river and all these bodies of water that were around there. Something about that to me was, I was really connected to that. And that's something, you know, I miss a lot here. We have the ocean here, and that's been a huge inspiration to me, but it's just not the same as that kind of insulated green space that you get in that, you know, when you're the bike trail. Like, I used to ride bikes a lot when I was out there, and just like, I honestly think about it every other day, you know, like, man, I need to get back out to the bike trail and get down by the river, because it's just such a beautiful place. It's a special place.
Mm-hmm. You have a lot more hills to navigate living in San Francisco, I'm sure.
Yeah, definitely. It's I mean, the Mission's not so bad. The space that I live in there's kind of this flat area like Valencia Street, but yeah, there's definitely, if you want to go anywhere further than like a half mile, you're definitely going to be working with some hills.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So I wanted to chat a little bit about your couple most recent records. One obviously was Weather, which was, I know, a vocal album, which was kind of one of your first forays into that. Can you tell us a little bit about the process that went into that, and what your motivation was for adding such a strong vocal presence?
Yeah, I mean, that actually started in Sacramento, not that particular record, but like when I started making music, I was really into like 07 and Thievery Corporation and Air and all that kind of stuff. And I wanted to make that kind of record, like a kind of chill out vocally driven album that had this, but you know, that had this solid foundation of electronic music. And that I tried to make that record, and you hear snippets from the recordings of that. Sorry, the sun's like blasting through this window. You hear the snippets of that throughout my throughout Dive and subsequent albums. But that was kind of past this prologue. The seeds of that were this vocal record, and so I always wanted to reapproach that, and I felt like with Epoch that was the closed off that trilogy of records and felt like an end of an era to me, and it felt like it was time to do something like very different. And so I decided it was kind of a good opportunity to pick that back up again. And then I connected with Hannah, the vocalist, kind of serendipitously, and it all just kind of came together. So that was definitely a fun year.
Right. What was the response to that record? When Weather came out, a little bit of a different approach for you, but did fans dig it? Did they want to know what the hell you were doing?
Yeah, there's both of those things. Yeah, I mean, it depends on what you're looking for out of an artist. I definitely, you invest yourself in an artist as a fan, and I found myself, wanting this artist. I just want more of the same, and I think a lot of people, they expect you to at least stay on that path. And I think with instrumental electronic music is such a specific thing that it's kind of like if you deviate from that, I understand that kind of throws people off. So it was mixed. I think people have come around to it a lot over time. And once we started touring, I noticed there was a very different, the reaction we got touring was like really positive. Like I feel like more positive than when we, the highlights of the show ended up being kind of the vocal moments. But yeah, it was definitely, it threw people off. I think people definitely had intense reactions to it at the beginning.
So did simulcast kind of recenter everybody and remind everybody who you are, so to speak?
Yeah. And, like that was, those songs all started out as instrumentals that I was just kind of working on. And then it's like, oh, like this could be really good with vocals. And then when I met Hannah, it just kind of all connected, or Saint Sinner, she goes by for music. So, I just wanted to finish what they originally were, which was instrumental records, and do justice to the original concept. Because, when you're making, to add the vocals, it was a very much a process of stripping away. You really had to like take a lot of the instrumental elements away to make the vocals allow them to fit in. So I wanted to go back and start the process over from the beginning and see where those songs went when you approach them from an instrumental perspective.
Mm-hmm. We were talking earlier about Outer Sunset, one of the songs on that record, which you were recorded, obviously spending a lot of time in Outer Sunset. Can you tell us a little bit about that song?
Yeah. So it started out as Skate, which was just kind of like this rhythm guitar progression, and I wanted to keep that super minimal for the vocal record and just have it be all about Hannah's vocals and have that be the main kind of the main element. And then for the instrumental version, I brought in drums and some more and the bass. I wanted to stay away from any of kind of the low end rhythmic stuff for the other version to keep it kind of airy and pretty. So yeah, I just kind of fleshed it out in that respect. And both of those songs speak to kind of my experience making these records, which was I spent a lot of time at the ocean in this neighborhood called the Outer Sunset, and that's kind of like my homage to those places and to San Francisco. When I first moved here in the 90s, I went to college here, and I spent a lot of time skateboarding out in that area. I lived closer to that area, so that was like kind of my first experience, and where I fell in love with San Francisco was that area. So those definitely, this album and those songs in particular are my homage to San Francisco, I think.
Beautiful. Can we hear a couple samples real quick? And I got him queued up for us.
Yeah. So this is the version, the vocal version, and this was on Weather. And it just starts out with this like kind of rhythmic guitar progression. And there's actually a version of this that has bass and drums in it. But by the end of the record, it was like, no, we need, let's strip this back and keep this simple. And I think on every record, I'm trying to kind of find that one song where everything comes down, because a lot of the music is so layered and there's so much going on that you kind of miss some of the details of the beauty of this and the simplicity of some of the layers.
Dangerous. I like to keep it a little bit dangerous. Won't be too good for love. I'm serious.
And this was actually the first song we recorded right here. I think Hannah was standing right here. We recorded all the vocals in this room, which I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to do. I'd never recorded vocals myself, so I thought it was some like dark art or something. And so we were just cutting them as demos in this room, and then we were like, these are cool, so we went with them. So yeah, that's the, you can hear it's kind of ethereal and minimal, definitely, by my standards. And then this is Outer Sunset, which is the kind of companion version that came out on the instrumental album. And this is definitely more electronic and so these drums were originally in the vocal version, but I thought they kind of detracted from what was going on with Hannah's voice. So it was nice to bring them back in this version and work with them. I always like working with breaks. So the main thing they have in common is that rhythm guitar section from the beginning.
It was a song that had a lot more to say.
Yeah. And this is like, this is getting back to my roots. Definitely like in Sacramento was when I really started making music, or when I did start making music, and I really worked a lot. I was really into like DJ Shadow and kind of stuff like that, like chopping up breaks. So with this record, I really wanted to get back to like using like lo-fi breaks and using samplers and drum machines again. Whereas on the other records, it was a lot of live drumming, like linear kind of performances. Whereas this was very chopped up and kind of edited and sampled sounding, which was kind of what I wanted to get back to.
Beautiful. If it's not too weird to say, it's almost like it's a song that found you versus a song that you went and found.
I would say that about every song I've ever put out is they find you, like you, it's amazing. I'm sure there's some artists who can they're like laying in bed and like some idea pops into their head and they like write down the chord progression or whatever. But with me, it's always just like sitting there playing until something interesting happens. And then even that, the seed for that song, a lot of times what that ends up becoming is something completely different. And by the end of it, you're just like, where did this song come from? And, I kind of feel like it comes from the process of production. That a lot of times is what the song is. It was born out of that process and not necessarily like this moment of inspiration.
So given this world that we're in now, where it's a little harder for things to come find you with us being locked down and in quarantine and sort of cut off from the world, what's been your creative process during this time, if anything? Is there anything that you're working on, trying to revamp your process?
Yeah, like after those records, I definitely wanted to kind of branch out and do some more like collaborative stuff. So I've been working on some kind of collaborative tracks with some other artists, working on some remixes. I just finished a remix last night, actually, that'll hopefully, I think that's like out in July or something. So yeah, just been kind of doing the same thing, but with those 2 records in a row, I wasn't super anxious to get right back into the full album thing, because that can be daunting, to bite off such a big thing. So like this is going to be more about kind of like little things here and there for the next few months, I think.
Beautiful. Have you been able to find ways to connect with the artists you usually collaborate with? Like obviously, we're doing everything online right now and via the digital world.
Yeah, I haven't gotten into that kind of like streaming. There's a couple tools for streaming, like collaborative recording. But most of the way I work is kind of like just burying myself for a while and just coming up with concepts. So like I'm kind of treating this as like this is the incubator time, when I just kind of come up with a bunch of basic ideas, and then hopefully once this is over, then I can get together with everybody and start fleshing them out.
Beautiful. And so, not to put you on the spot, but it sounds like maybe July we might see some new Tycho music out in the world around that time.
Definitely that remix will be out. It's a remix for a video game. So like it's interesting. Like it's not a typical remix where like it's just it's like this orchestral kind of arrangement, like a score was the original song. So I kind of took that and turned it into more of like a typical song, like a Tycho song. So yeah, it's kind of, in a way, it's a new song, and in another way, it's kind of a remix. So yeah, that'll be interesting. It was a fun
Beautiful.
project.
Well, we look forward to it, and Sacramento misses you, man. So hopefully when everything gets back to normal, we'll see you out here soon.
Yeah, definitely. I will definitely be getting to Harlow's for the first show once they're back online. So good,
Beautiful.
yeah, good luck to all you guys, and thanks for having me. And I hope, any way we can all support, let me know.
Appreciate your time so much, Tycho. Everyone, thank you so much for joining
Thanks.
us.
See you.
You bet. Tycho, again, thank you so much. And his albums, his catalog are currently available on Bandcamp. So go on today before midnight. All proceeds go directly. So again, thanks to Tycho. And we are going to move over to a performance from Shelby Murray of Sad Girls Club. Shelby, how's it going?
Good, how's it going?
Great. Thanks so much for hanging with us. And happy belated birthday. I hear you just had a birthday.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm happy to be here. This is my birthday party.
Awesome. Now, so your birthday party was supposed to be up at Starlit Room right above Harlow's, correct?
Yeah, it was. It was supposed to be my band, Sad Girls Club, Lightweight, and then 2 bands from San Diego called All Weather and Squarecrow, and we were going to have a big old party, but unfortunately, that is unable to happen due to current events. So here I am.
Well, we're certainly glad to have you. Tell us a little bit about how this group kind of got together. I heard it was basically running a show at Cafe Colonial.
Yeah, so Sad Girls Club was formed. My best friend Travis and we've been friends for going on like 11 years now, and I've been going to shows just as long. And we've been playing music together forever, and then summer of 2018, we kind of decided, like, you know what, it's time. We should make a band. We should start playing shows and start playing music. It's what we love to do, and we're very connected to the punk scene in Sacramento and a lot of other variable genres. So we thought it was time, and people have welcomed us with open arms. It's been really nice.
Beautiful. And we were talking earlier, you were saying a lot of your kind of the songs you had in the can that became a lot of Sad Girls Club tunes were acoustic demos like you're going to play tonight. Is that right?
Yeah, almost all of them. And I'm actually going to play a song tonight that's going to be on our next album that I wrote when I was like 18. It's like the last one that I really love and I really wanted to see through. So most of those songs I wrote when I was 17 and 18 years old, and went to any coffee shop or like Cafe Colonial, anybody that would listen to me to just play their ears off.
Beautiful. Well, we're happy to hear some brand new tunes. Shelby, the floor is yours. Thank you so much.
Very excited. So the first song I'm going to play is off of our Sad Girls Club first album. It's called Call My Name. It's one of the only songs on that album that I didn't write as a teenager, I guess. So here it goes. Strange were the empty nights, stay up and wonder what you're doing and who you're with. Sad on my lonely eyes, I think of you from time to time, and I miss your presence passing through me. You don't know what you're doing to me. my little capo off. So, like I said, I'm Shelby. I'm in a band called Sad Girls Club. Earlier, Aaron had mentioned that Bandcamp is waiving a share of all of their fees and to support all of the artists here, which I really, really think you should do. But I also really implore everybody to go over to Harlow's page and buy something from them. Everybody in Sad Girls Club is really lucky in that we're not terribly struggling right now. Most of us are still working. And we don't really have a place to come back to if these venues don't survive. So go find your favorite venue in Sacramento, Harlow's, Cafe Colonial, Press Club, any of the above. And show them some love because they need it right now. They have no income. Anyway, here's my little spiel. I'm not going to bore you guys too much with all that, but the next song that I'm going to play is a song that Sad Girls Club recently recorded for a split that is going to be out at some point this year. Still, we don't really know when, but hopefully all of this will pass soon and we'll be able to release some music and play some shows for you. This song is called Old Habits. Thank you so much to Sacramento Bee for putting on this virtual concert series. It's really great. It's nice to see all the artists in Sacramento of all different genres kind of bringing what we have to the table and bringing everybody who's stuck at home some entertainment. I've got one more song left that I'm going to play for you. Keep it relatively short and sweet. Um, Gosh, my dad, if he's watching this, is gonna see this capo and tell me I'm cheating. Love you, Dad. I wrote this song back in 2013 and played it anywhere anybody would listen for me, and I finally decided that with Sad Girls Club, I thought that we should bring it to our next album. So hopefully, whenever we get a chance to record that, this will be there. It's probably my favorite song I've ever written. I'm very proud of it. It's called Blue. I hope you guys enjoy. And everybody, take care. Take care of each other. Take care of yourselves. Stay inside. Don't know much, but I know myself. I don't wanna be with anybody else. Don't know what I want in life. I was hoping you would stay tonight. So here's my heart, I'll save it for you. You can take my love and my whole life too. It doesn't mean a thing if I'm not with you. And the day you leave me, I'll just stay here. Not very good with words, and most days I'm cold as ice. But for you, I change my ways. And to you, I'm twice as nice. So here's my heart, I'll save it for you. You can take my love and my whole life too. It doesn't mean a thing if I'm not with you. And the day you leave me, I'll just stay If you decide to stay, I won't go away. I will stand by you in everything you do. If I scare you off or you start to doubt, I won't hold you back. No, I'll just stay here. Thank you guys. Thanks for having me.
Just for the record, Shelby, a capo is absolutely not cheating. Don't let anyone ever tell you otherwise.
That's kind of an inside joke with my dad and I. He said, well, you have your fingers, you can do it. And I'm like, my fingers are really small. We're both musicians, so it's...
That was beautiful. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hard Feelings is on Bandcamp, and we are looking forward to new music and eventually shows from Sad Girls Club. Thank you so much, Shelby.
Thank you.
Good night. Take care. And with that, we are pleased to introduce our headlining act for the evening, which is Night Hikes. Pleased to welcome in Olivia and Matthew. So glad to have you both. How are you?
Good. We're good. How are you?
Fantastic. Thank you guys so much for joining us.
Good. Yeah, we're so glad to be here.
So I have to ask about a note from your bio that says the two of you got kicked out of a chapel at University of Notre Dame for making music instead of partaking in other things that you're supposed to do in a chapel. What happened? Not like you guys are making the devil's rock and roll here.
We were in the chapel of a girls' dorm. There's single-sex dorms on campus, and it was probably like 9 p.m., and there was no one in there. And we were just trying to record a music video, and the rectress of the dorm came in, and she was like, I'm sorry, guys, but we have to keep this space for the ladies who want to come in here and pray. And we were like, okay. So we went to a boys' dorm and no one kicked us out. So we were able to accomplish our mission
Not an
eventually.
unreasonable request. It was just pretty late at night. So we thought we were being clear. But
Yeah. She also just said it in kind of a patronizing way. So it was just kind of like, all right, we'll leave.
So you guys were supposed to have a show up at Starlit Room a couple weeks ago that obviously got canceled. Is that right?
Yes. So we had planned a whole tour for April, which, we didn't know was horrible timing. But yeah, we were supposed to play, I think, on the 17th.
Yeah. What's the vibe up in Night Hikes is out of Seattle? What's the vibe up there right now? I know it's such a vibrant music city, but for everything to be shut down, what's it like up there?
yeah, there's been a lot of musicians and spaces coming together to really try and support those who need it the most. So that's been awesome. And yeah, everybody's just dying to get back to playing and seeing each other play. But there's been a lot of support, which has been great, and that's a great thing about this city.
Excellent. Sounds about the same as what's happening here in Sacramento, where Olivia, you're from originally, correct?
Yes, it is my favorite city in the world.
Or hopefully, again, like I told Sad Girls Club, we're looking forward to you guys actually being able to play here. But tonight we're going to hear some songs from your newest record, Chalice, correct?
Yes.
Excellent. Floor is yours, guys. Thank you so much for being here.
Awesome. Thank you.
Secrets on the city bus. Don't tell. She sees bodies. She'll never have another one. Oh well. Does it show? Pages in the magazine still shine. Oh yes, black dress. She pours herself a different dream each night, and she goes. Places everybody knows. Can you find her? Hiding in the afterglow. Where a pretty little smile, make believe. Don't just a while. Set her free. She might be the one she really needs. She might be the one she really needs.
just may say it'll end. The surface says again. Oh, how many blessings can they send to scatter useless in the wind? It's time to say never again. Bring this illusion to an end. It's time to say never again. It's time to say never again. Oh, it's happening every day. There's gotta be more to life. If silence is what it takes, stop waiting for better times.
to that beach with me. We can take all day to stroll to the sea. If you need. Wish that I had known you when we And love forever is always in a rush. Won't let it get the best of us. And I can never remember very much these days, but I cannot forget sure. Ooh, 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 ooh. When I look across the room, I always find you. No one ever has to know what our eyes do. Let's count the rings inside the tree just to feel young. Let's count the wrinkles in our skin from the hot sun and the ocean. And love forever could never be enough. There is a dawn upon a dusk. And to be honest, I'm never in a rush. Anywhere I go, there you are still my love. You're the only one who ever made my coffee right. You're the only one who saw the magic out of sight. You're the only one who ever made my coffee right. You're the only one who saw the magic out of sight. Can I take you to the beach one more time? I'll be the sea, you'll be the breeze, and the sunshine, and the sunshine.
Thank you.
Perfect soundtrack as the sun goes to bed here in Sacramento, you guys. Thank you so much. That was beautiful.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you. This was a
So
blast.
all of those songs are from your most recent record, Chalice. Is that correct?
Yes, it came out in November of 2019, which seems like 5
Excellent.
years ago.
And you have a new single in the works called Raven, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hoping to put it out in a few weeks.
Excellent. And that'll be on Bandcamp as well?
Yes.
Yeah, sure will.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
All the things, but Bandcamp is our favorite.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Looking forward to hearing the new track, and thank you for the show tonight. Night Hikes, everyone. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you so much.
And thank you everyone for tuning in to Band Together tonight. Again, just want to remind you that until midnight, so you have a few hours, go on Bandcamp. You can find music from Night Hikes, Sad Girls Club, Tycho, several Sacramento locals, whoever your favorite band is. If they're on Bandcamp, tonight's the night to buy their music. Bandcamp is waiving all of their revenue share, so it's 100% to the artists for the rest of the day. They'll be doing that again the first Fridays in June and July, so keep an eye on that. Thank you so much again. Night Hikes, Sad Girls Club, Tycho, appreciate you being on the program so much. Thanks to our friends from Harlow's for curating this for us. And head over to harlows.com for their new Head Start program and their GoFundMe page. Gift cards are on sale. All the information about how you can support Harlow's is over at their website. And local artists, if you're planning streams, events, new music, anything like that, please find me on Instagram at adavis_3 to see. Let me know what you're up to. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in to Band Together. Stay safe. Good night.